I have with me Katherine Giovanni. Katherine is a three-time award-winning bestseller author of 12 books. She's also a speaker, trainer, and advisor, and a proud breast cancer survivor. Her latest work, The Ultimate Path to Forgiveness, Unlocking Your Power, offers profound insights into forgiveness. And so, let's dive into the world of forgiveness. Katherine Giovanni, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Michael. I appreciate it.
I guess we can just start at the beginning because, as we just spoke a little bit, forgiveness is quite a big topic that we don't really look at enough. And I think all of us have someone or something or some moment in our lives that maybe we could use a little bit more forgiveness on. And I was hoping you can share with us like what started you down this path.
I was raised like pretty much everybody on the planet in a pretty dysfunctional house. And in the 8th grade, my parents got a divorce. I was getting bullied in school and I tried to commit suicide, which turned me, and I never really recovered from it. So it turned me into the typical angry teen, rebellious, everybody knows one of those kids. And I kind of stayed like that well into my 20s. And I was angry. I was sick all the time. And I didn't have a big friend circle. And then my mom got sober and we became real close for the last 3 years of her life. And then she died. And when she died, something in my brain kind of snapped. And I thought, I can't keep living like this because I'm going to die like she is if I don't stop. So I kind of discovered forgiveness, and I didn't know anything about it. Nobody teaches you how to forgive, but everybody says you have to do it. So I just started saying the words blindly, I forgive you, kind of blindly. And that kind of went on, and it started to help. And my life started to improve because when I forgave somebody, I would put my hand on my chest and I'd really try and mean it. And that's about all I knew about forgiveness in those days. But I kept doing it and my life got better, met my husband, the finances increased, my health increased. And that's kind of how I stayed on the path. Well, in the early 2000s, I'm a concierge trainer by trade. And I used to teach customer service workshops. I'm retired from it. But Michael, I can't teach you how to be nice to people if you're angry inside. So if you're angry, it's going to bleed through your body language, whether you want it to or not. I could teach you the beautiful words to say. I could teach you the most pleasing tone of voice. But if you're angry, it's going to bleed through anyways. So I thought maybe I can add forgiveness to my business workshop. In the early 2000s, that wasn't done. That was like a big sin. Nobody added soft topics. It just wasn't done. But I added the soft topics because I couldn't legitimately teach people how to be angry unless I talked about forgiveness. And interestingly enough, whenever I taught that session, at least 3 people would leave the room.
Whoa.
They'd have to make a phone call. They'd have to go to the bathroom. They'd magically start coughing. And then when the session was over and I was moving on to the next topic, they'd magically float back into the room. So that's when I realized forgiveness is a really hard topic for people. And that's when I came up with about 10 years after that, that's when I came up with the method that I have in the book.
Wow. Because it makes me think about how many people are carrying around really serious, the word trauma gets bandied around a lot these days, but let's just say like a moments in their life that they are trying to forgive or just try not to remember, if anything. Like if you just were to mention the idea of forgiveness in a work setting and people have to bail out, you can imagine how strong that feeling must have been coming to the surface. And go ahead.
No, I've discovered that when you think of forgiveness, when you first saw forgiveness and wanted to bring me on the show, you immediately went to the hardest forgiveness person on your list. Because in the book, I'm going to have you make a list of the people, places, and things. Yes, I said places and things, believe it or not. And when everybody thinks of forgiveness on a 10 scale, with 1 being stupid easy, like the kid in grammar school who tripped you or stole your bike, you could forgive those people. They're really easy. The tens are unforgivable. The tens are really hard. Do you have to forgive the unforgivable? No, you don't. I'm the only one that's going to say that. You don't have to forgive your number 10s, but there's other things you can forgive. Like
Right.
the people, places, and things in 1 through 7, for example. Those are easy. But when people hear forgiveness, you immediately go to your number 10. And you don't
Right.
want to forgive your 10 because it was unforgivable and you're angry, and that's a legitimate thing. But,
Right.
forgiveness is personal. It's selfish. You do it for you, not for them. And just because I forgive you doesn't mean I want a relationship with you. Probably don't. And it's not like Alcoholics Anonymous or any program like that where they want you to reach out to the person. Not me. You could sit alone in your room by yourself and nobody has to know you've done it.
Yeah, reaching out to people. I think if you're apologizing for something, I think that's one thing. But to reach out to someone else that is maybe still a monster, or just basically just a shit person,
Yeah.
you're like, why am I going to expose myself to more of this nonsense?